What's going on, everyone? So the San Antonio Spurs, with the 14th pick, ended up landing Carter Bryant. And I think he's going to be a huge impact player. I think his just upside and trajectory could be fantastic for the San Antonio Spurs. But I did a whole video breaking down Carter Bryant, as well as kind of what I see him as soon as this year, as well as going forward. So go check out that video after this video, because I want to talk about more Harrison Barnes in this video. Kind of briefly mentioned in some of these videos that, like, hey, Harrison Barnes, I think he's more important now than he was even last year. And I thought he was an important piece last year. But Harrison Barnes, obviously on the surface, he's a player that the Spurs could absolutely use and keep, right? They need wing depth. They have plenty of guards. They need big men and wings. And, you look at adding Carter Bryant, okay, that solves one of them, but you still need other guys off the bench. You do have Julian Champagnie, okay, fine. But a Harrison Barnes, I think, would be fantastic. Now, obviously, Harrison Barnes is on an expiring contract. He is older, right? So if you can find the right deal, fine. But in all honesty, I'd probably give up even like a Keldon Johnson over a Harrison Barnes if you can. Again, I'm not saying Harrison Barnes is untradeable or anything like that. Nothing crazy, but I think if you can manage to keep him, I would keep him, because, again, you need that veteran leadership. He's a guy that's been there, done that. If you do make the playoffs, I think he's going to be incredibly valuable in those playoff series, because he's one of the few guys outside of De'Aaron Fox that's comfortable being there, has gone on championship runs, played a huge part for the Golden State Warriors in their championship run, hit huge shots. He had a couple of huge shots last year for the Spurs, including a game winner, right? Like, Harrison Barnes is just that steady, stable vet that also was very good for the Spurs, right? It's not like he was just like, oh, he's that guy that's just there as like a veteran leader. No, he was one of their better players last year. He averaged 12 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists last year, but he also shot the ball incredible. He shot 43.3% on 4.4 attempts from three-point range last year, shot almost 60% from two-point range on 4 attempts, had an EFG of 62.6%, shot 81% from the foul line, grabbed 4 rebounds, 2 assists, half a steal, half a block, and 12.13 points per game. And he played all 82 games too, which he's done all 3 years, right? Best ability is availability. So guy that's available, guy that's healthy, a guy that plays, and a guy that gives you impact out there on the basketball court when he does play. He's not just, because some teams will go and bring in a veteran guy just to have them as like a locker room presence. And that's fine. That's important too, right? But Harrison Barnes is a veteran that, again, can give you that production out there on the basketball court. But to me, it's like he is the prototype in many ways of just that stable 3-and-D wing. He's not the greatest. He's not but he is just exactly, every team in the league would love to have a Harrison Barnes. He's made a very successful career out of just being that guy that knows, understands, and plays his role. A guy that has made and had a successful career, made a lot of money, just being that guy that, hey, you need me to play the 3, you need me to play the 4, whatever role you need me to play, you need me to defend, you need me to hit shots, you need me to do the dirty work and rebound and all this stuff, fine, no problem, I gotcha. And that is incredibly valuable. He's athletic, he's versatile, right? It's what you want, a guy that can defend 1 through 4 and on some nights a 5. Now, I move over to Carter Bryant. I look at Carter Bryant and I'm like, Harrison Barnes would be an excellent mentor for Carter Bryant. Now, again, Carter Bryant has all the potential in the world. He's a 19-year-old kid. I don't want to put him in a box, right? But again, Harrison Barnes, let's not pretend like Harrison Barnes is just some bum, some scrub out there, right? Again, I'm not saying he's a superstar or a star or anything like that. He is a very good role player. But you need those. You need those guys. Every team in the league has those guys. Every championship contender that has ever won has all had those just hustle role guys. You need them. Not everyone has to be a superstar. Not everyone is going to be a superstar. If Carter Bryant, best case scenario, is a Harrison Barnes, that's not a bad thing. Now, my hope is, obviously, if he could be better, like an OG or, in a perfect world, the next Kawhi Leonard or something like that, right? Like, again, I don't want to ever put a young man in a box and go like, oh, he's going to be this, because you never know, right? For as many number 2 picks that have fizzled out and became nothing, there are as many number 14 picks that have fizzled out and became nothing, but there's also those guys that have been the 17th pick, or a guy in Jokic that was drafted during a Taco Bell commercial in the second round and now the best player in basketball and one of the greatest players to ever play the game, right? You never know. You guys drafted 13th, drafted 15th. SGA was 11th, right? If I'm not mistaken off the top of my head. You never know. So again, I'm never going to say like Carter Bryant, oh, he's just going to be a really good role player, or he's just going to be, a rotation player. No, who knows? He could end up being like, we might be wrong on everybody. Castle, Harper, everybody. And we might look at Carter Bryant and go, man, that was the guy. He was the guy, right? You never know. But you need that veteran presence and mentor. And I think because of the acquisition of Carter Bryant, I think Harrison Barnes becomes so much more valuable to this team. I think he's very important for guys like Carter Bryant, Julian Champagnie. If you bring in other young guys, whoever it is, those guys are going to be very important, to have a mentor, have somebody that can kind of guide them and show them like, hey, this is how you operate in the NBA. This is how you want longevity. Yes, kid, you might be a superstar one day, but until then, you want longevity. You want worst case scenario. You have a 15-year career. This is what you need to do. This is what you need to, how you need to operate, right? Coming in this team. How are you going to play? How are you going to earn minutes over me or over, Julian Champagnie or over any of these other guys, right? By being the hustle guy, doing the dirty work, being undeniable. How do you make sure you stay on the court and play as many minutes as possible? You become so good at the intangibles that they can't take you off the court. Right? Look at a guy like an Alex Caruso and what he did for OKC. I mean, that guy was arguably the second most important player in that playoffs. I know Jalen Williams was dropping 40 and doing all this crazy stuff. Alex Caruso impacted that game that series in so many ways. They don't even get to the NBA Finals if it wasn't for Alex Caruso. Go watch Game 7. Alex Caruso by himself literally just blew that game wide open and they never looked back. I mean, he had like 5 steals in the first 7 minutes he was on the basketball court. The guy just dictated that game, right? By just being undeniable, being out there, doing the hustle plays, doing the dirty work, right? Every time there's a loose ball, I'm getting it. Every time there's a long rebound, I'm getting it, right? Creating second chance opportunities for your team, getting your team quality looks, right? Like hitting shots with some consistency. He's a rookie. He's going to have games where he drops and goes 5 of 7 from 3. And you're like, man, this guy is the best shooter in the league, right? And then he's going to have games and stretches where he's 0 of 7 or 1 of 7 from 3, right? Like it happens. It happens to the best shooters ever, right? Steph has had insane, just cold streaks. And you're just like, man, that guy can't buy a bucket, right? But more so with the rookies because they're going to, and he's going to have to learn the pace and kind of spots and positioning on the basketball court at an NBA level, and then more so on the defensive side of things, right? He's going to need to learn defensive positioning and how to watch film and retape and understand okay, these type of guys you want to defend this way, or this guy you want to force left, or this, that, and the other. And to have a veteran in a Harrison Barnes that can grab him and go, hey, come here, walk with me, kid. Look, you're like this, you need to be like this. This guy, he likes this, you need to do this. Right? Like all of these little details, seeing the game, seeing the basketball court, right? Seeing how you can improve and become that guy for a Spurs team. I think Harrison Barnes is one of the ideal scenarios for that. Again, this is a guy that's had a very long, successful career. Very long, successful career. You gotta think, Harrison Barnes was drafted in 2012. 2012, right? We're about to get into the 2016 season. And he's probably not stopping anytime soon. He probably got a couple more years under his belt. This is a guy that's going to play 15 plus years in the NBA. Right? How do you do that? By being a guy like him, knowing, understanding, and playing your role to perfection. Right? Hey, whatever you need, I can plug in and play with anybody. Right? Because that's what Carter Bryant's going to have to be. He's going to have to be that plug and play guy. He's going to have to be that legit two-way defensive monster doing the dirty work. Because again, you have Victor Wembanyama. You have Dylan Harper. You have De'Aaron Fox. You have Stephon Castle. Best case scenario, unless, trades happen, they trade Fox or whatever. But right now, best case scenario, he is probably the 5th option on the Spurs. Because he's not going to be an option over De'Aaron Fox because he's going to be the guy that has the ball in his hands all game. He's not going to be an option over Victor Wembanyama because he's their best player and the literally the potential face of the league at some point, right? And he's not going to be over Dylan Harper because that's their number 2 pick, and he's supposed to be, that co-star franchise player, and he's probably not going to be over Stephon Castle, right? So Carter Bryant, best case scenario, is probably your 5th option. Now, I do think that there is potential for him to have a more consistent, maybe even bigger role than even like a Dylan Harper because of the logjam, right? Where he's playing a position that is really of need, that he might just get the minutes and stuff. But we'll see. Time will tell. Anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos. Truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.